Good evening. Confirm whether audio clear. Confirm that. Now you would have got a material. So that material, we will finish it off quickly. This is segment reporting. Recollect what we discussed yesterday regarding segment reporting. Segment is an identifiable component of business where the risk and return differ from other components of business, and then a material you will receive in due course. Don't worry at all. Now I will display that question as well as answer, so it will be comfortable. It will be posted in due course. I have already forwarded. They will send it to you, no problem. Now let's continue with what we were discussing. So what we were discussing was regarding reportable segment. There were three tests. You had that. What are the tests we had? We had revenue test, result test, asset test. Revenue test, add segment revenue. Segment revenue include internal, external both. And calculate 10% of that. Any segment having revenue in excess of that amount, 10%, that is reportable segment. Similarly, recollect the segment result test. Add segments operating in profit, add segment operating in losses. Whichever is higher in absolute amount, take that, calculate 10% of that. Any segment having either profit or loss in excess of that amount become reportable segments. These are the points we had seen already. So, asset test, there is another test. As per asset test, what we should do, add all the segment assets. Any segment having asset in excess of 10% or more, that is actually reportable segment. These were the three tests yesterday you had seen. If suppose any one of this test complied with, then it become reportable segment. It's not necessary that they should comply with all the three tests. Any one, if it is satisfied, it is reportable. We had a overriding requirement, 75% of enterprise revenue, which means only external. That 75% of enterprise revenue should get covered through segment reporting. If it is not covered, additional segments should be identified as reportable, even if they do not reach the threshold limit of 10%. So this is how the segment reporting goes. Fine. Let's now go to some of the important points. Just I will send a request to them for material. So what we have to do, there is just one more segment, primary segment, secondary segment. You can imagine row wise, column wise, like that. Now, primary segment, secondary segment. What is that? Let us check. If you recollect what is this primary segment, secondary segment, basically this primary segment, secondary segment You can imagine column wise, row wise. Primary segment, if the risk and return is more affected by the products what they deal with or services what they deal with, then business segment will be primary segment, because some companies may have multiple products, they may have presence in multiple location. So in that sense, primary, secondary. So primary segment can be business segment if the risk and return more affected by product. If the risk and return more affected by geographical location, economic environment, geographical segment, business segment, geographical segment would become primary segment. Accordingly, accounting would be done. And these are very important points. We will see some more. And various things of that nature we will see one by one. First, let us go to a question now. Question number 1. Look at that. The chief accountant of ANZ Limited gives the following data regarding 6 segments. The chief accountant is of the opinion that M and N alone should be reported. Is he justified? That's all asked in the question. So, first let us apply. Let us apply revenue test. See, there is a information that material posted just now. You can refer. In the group they have posted, you can refer. So revenue, if you add the segment revenue, it is already available 1,200 into 10%. What will be reportable as per revenue test? Can you tell? There are 4 segments, 5 segments, the table given. What segments are reportable as per revenue test? Can you give answer? Give answer. Proceed. Very good, very good. MN, very good. This is for revenue. One test over. Second test, result test. Add segments operating in profit, add segments operating in loss. Separately you add and tell me what is the segments operating in profit and what is the segment total. The total amount of segments operating in profit and segments operating in loss. Add that and give. Thereafter we will proceed. So if you check segments operating in profit, MOPR, refer second, the details are there, plus 100, very good, plus 100. How it comes? 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 30. 50 plus 10, 60, 60 plus 10, 70 plus 30, 100. Segments operating in loss, add that, you will get minus 200. Minus 200, which is higher? Normal answer 100 higher. In the accounting standard 17 answer 200 higher. We have to select absolute amount. Select any segment having 20 lakh or more profit that are reportable. So MN already covered in one criteria, are also now covered. So are reportable. Now 3 segments out of given 5, 3 are reportable. M, N, O, P, Q, R. In that, M, N are reportable. O, P, Q alone, we should check. Let us check O, P, Q alone. So O, P, Q alone, if you check 30, 20, 20. That's what is the assets. Calculate 10%. 200 into 10%, 20 will come. So M, N, O, P, Q. Finished. That's all. Now all are reportable. That's all. Answer over. Every segment is reportable segment. That's it. So let's now reduce this to writing. That's all. Same thing. We have to rewrite whatever you have done yesterday. The same notes we should take down. That's it. So let us now take down one by one. First, now take answer. As per AS 17. As per AS 17, a segment would be identified as a segment would be identified as reportable. Reportable when any of the following conditions, any of the following conditions are satisfied. Are satisfied. Accordingly, financial information should be provided. Accordingly, financial information should be provided for all reportable segments. For all reportable segments. Below that, you take point number 1. It's revenue from sales to external customers. It's revenue from sales to external customers and from transaction with other segments and from transaction with other segments is 10% or more is 10% or more of total revenue of total revenue of all the segments of all the segments. Or in between you put R or R. Second point, its result whether profit or loss. Its result whether profit or loss is 10% or more of is 10% or more of the combined result of all segments the combined results of all segments in profit or again or second point within the second point numerical 2 the combined result of all segments in loss Now common line, whichever is higher in absolute amount. Whichever is higher in absolute amount. Third point, its segment assets are 10% or more. Its segment assets are 10% or more of the total assets of the total assets of all segments all segments. Just one more small line further. If total enterprise revenue attributable to segments constitute less than 75% of total enterprise revenue, additional segments should be identified as reportable. Additional segments should be identified as reportable. Even if they do not meet 10% threshold. In the given case, the reportable segments can be identified as under. One by one you take. First one, point number 1. As per revenue criteria, segments M and N are reportable. Below that, take 2 lines. Total revenue of all segments. Total revenue of all segments, that is equal to 1,200 lakhs. 1,200 lakhs. 10% of the above is equal to 120 lakhs. 10% of the above is equal to 120 lakhs. Therefore, reportable segments will be segment with revenue of 120 lakh and above. 120 lakhs and above. Hyphen reportable segments M and N. Reportable segments M and N. Next, second point number 2. On the basis of result criteria, on the basis of result criteria, M, N, and R are reportable. M, N, and R are reportable. So how we arrived, we will explain below that. Aggregate value of segments operating in profit. Segments operating in profit. In bracket, you take 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 30. 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 30. You will get 100. Next one. Aggregate value of segments operating in loss. Aggregate value of segments operating in loss. Calculate. Minus 190 minus 100. Minus 190 minus 100 is equal to minus 200. Higher of the above in absolute amount. Higher of the above in absolute amount is equal to 200. Is equal to 200. Next line, 10% of the above is equal to 10% of the above is equal to 200 into 10%, 20. 200 into 10%, 20. Next line, therefore any segment having either profit or loss of rupees 20 lakhs or more, either profit or loss of rupees 20 lakhs or more, reportable. Accordingly, M, N, R. M, N, and R. AR is thereafter. R reportable. M, N, and R. That is R. Segment R. ARE are reportable segments. Next, on the third point, on the basis of asset criteria, all the segments except R, on the basis of third point, on the basis of asset criteria, all the segments except R will be reportable segments. Next line. Since all the segments are covered by AS 17, Accounting Standard 17, all are reportable segments. All are reportable segments. Last line. Hence, the contention of accountant is incorrect. So this is your first question in that PDF file group. It got posted down. You can check. That is the answer for the first question. Whatever we finished now, this is the answer for first question. Now let's go to the second question, which you finished yesterday. Question 2 over already. So now we can go to third question. Let us go to the third question now. Calculate segment result of a manufacturing organization from the following. Directly attributable revenue, three segments are there, A, B, C. 5 lakh, then 3 lakh, 1 lakh, total 9 lakh. Enterprise revenue allocated in 5 is to 4 is to 2 ratio. We know there are three revenues. Yesterday was seen. Three items are included. Directly attributable revenue. That is what is your first point. Revenue generated but allocated on a rational basis. That is your second point. That ratio also given. Third, revenue from transaction with other segment. You should just take as it is. This one you should allocate in 5 is to 4 is to 2 ratio. After this, other income, revenue from extraordinary item we should not include. Refer yesterday's notes. Dividend income and interest earned on advances we will not include. It is not a finance company. It is a manufacturing company. So this box, extraordinary item, dividend income, interest, all these things we will not include. Then operating expense given, actuals I should take, and enterprise expense we have to allocate. Like enterprise revenue you allocated, like that expense. Then take this expense, which arise from transaction with other segment. Just we should take copy. The total missing, even if it is printed, it makes no big effect. You can write the total by yourself. So after that, other expense include extraordinary item, income tax expense, and interest on bank OD. These items we should not take. Expenses on extraordinary item, interest on bank OD, income tax. There are three items. All the three we should not take. You are required to prepare a statement showing financial information about Focus Limited's operations in different industry segments. This is the question. Because of that two slides which you have seen yesterday, you have taken notes also. It will look very easy now. I have to take only directly attributable revenue, allocated revenue, revenue from transaction with other segment. I should not take extraordinary item, dividend income, interest on advances, and gain on sale of investment. That category, that entire box, we will not take. Similarly, expense, we have to take three items. What are to be taken is first, directly attributable operating expense. Operating expense directly attributable. Allocated expense 77,000 given. In the ratio you allocate. That's all. Operating expense from transaction with other segment you have to take. The total also we can write now. 1,05,000 is the total. 1 lakh. This total don't affect any answer. And then transaction from segment C, 46,000. Very easy question. In order to bring that working knowledge, that's all, 46,000. Now you can copy these three items for segment revenue and segment expense and find the profit allocation only your work, bearing that copy. If you carefully copy enough, because the last box also we will not include back, because yesterday itself you know what to include, what not to include. If your students see this for the first time in the main exam, they will wonder such a big problem and all, is it there in syllabus? Like, but it is easy. You know that because yesterday itself you know what should be taken, what you should not take. That list we are excluding. That's all. Only three things are included: directly attributable, allocated, transaction with other segments. That's it. Finish it now and find the profit. We can cross check immediately. Find the profit. Just a copy exercise. That's all. You can take the three revenues. Only one small work. Allocate that 1,10,000 on the base of 5 is to 4 is to 2. Complete this quickly. This is working knowledge. So don't depend on the screen-based answer. Try to work out. It is accounts class. So you should be on toes with the calculator and numbers. So try to work out. If you found profit, post the profit in chat. For A, B, C, you can post profits. Post them. Just you put comma in between for each profit. Put comma and post to the next segment profit. Calculate. Very easy. Only thing you need a little bit of patience. One set of answers, 6,60,000 profit they are giving. I think revenue. That is revenue. Revenue correct. Gayatri, your answer for revenue correct. Find out profit also. Then take expense on the same basis and find profit. That's all. What we should not take has been given yesterday itself. Extraordinary item we won't take. Income tax and interest on bank OD we should not take. Those three things are given in a separate box. Fine. You can cross-check your answer with the answer on display. Cross-check that. And if you have done on your own within this time, it is possible to finish that. Small working only involved, but there is a different point which I will highlight. First, all of you complete this. If you have any doubt on this question and answer, you can ask me now. Ask now. You can post in chat box. Proceed now. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Those who are doing, finish this. Those who completed, indicate. Through chat, you indicate completion. Whether income tax, doubt asked, completed, very good. Those who completed, very good. Sir, whether income tax, when not extraordinary, should be considered if allocated. You should not consider. Saravana Sivakumar, you cannot go to the level of one activity. Then on every product, how much income tax, like that and all, you cannot calculate. It is not GST. Understand the difference between Saravana Sivakumar. Understand the difference between indirect tax and direct tax. Direct tax is on the entity income. See, if you are selling 1,000 units of your product, you are selling some product, 1,000 units. Each and every unit, we won't compute income tax. Impractical. Think of practicability first. So here also similarly, you cannot go to the level of segment-wise income tax. I told yesterday itself. Then a segment which operate in loss, they will say we are contributing for tax saving. Tax saving. What is that? You will get the message in a direct tax class. There would be business or profession. Set off carry forward. Like that one topic is there. At that time you will understand how a loss contribute for tax saving. So it is not required. Simple answer. The standard accounting standard provide that income tax should not be considered. Then we cannot think of allocating. Standard says segment expense does not include income tax. Then how can I violate and take that and allocate? Not possible. We have to follow the standard. I hope you understand. Saravana Sivakumar, respond. Are you clear with what I said now? Okay. Let's go to another question. Before that, if you have any doubt, you ask. Otherwise, I will ask my doubt. Since you are very clear, I will ask. Now, follow closely. Follow closely. Don't take down. Don't take down now. If A department recognize sales to be 1 lakh, then what we should recognize that 1 lakh should come as purchase here. Am I right? When A post 1 lakh as sale to B, for A it is sale, one person sale is another person purchase, basic of accounts. So here segment A sale, that is segment B purchase. Transaction from segment A. Here they should have booked it as purchase 1 lakh, but they are only booking 18,000. Why? Question wrong. Is it right? We are doing it from the question. If question itself wrong, what can we do? Is it like that? Are you able to follow? I am telling a simple fact. Those who are doing departmental accounts and all will appreciate better. If you post an amount as sale in one department, that will be booked as purchase in another department. But here you see vast difference. 1 lakh is booked as sales with segment B. That means segment B should book it as purchase here. This is B column. Transaction with A. Here they should have booked 1 lakh. You have not done it. Why? Can you tell me now? Answer now. Because I gave you an opportunity. I asked whether any doubt. Nobody asked the doubt. That means you are clear. So answer this now. Make it fast. That is what is classroom. Whatever is there, we just read, copy. Then what is the use of classroom? So you should have clarity on whatever you are doing. Proceed. Some sold to C. She introduced a new concept, Usha Kumari. Usha Kumari, I am talking about a simple point. Don't make it complicated. If A book 1 lakh as sale, B should book that 1 lakh as purchase. If I am selling to you, you will book it as purchase. You will not say, I will sell to another party, so I won't book purchase. That is a separate transaction, Usha Kumari. Have clarity. Don't complicate it. Simple point. A book as sale to B 1 lakh. I am asking a simple question. So B should book that as purchase 1 lakh. But they are booking only 18,000. Why I am asking? In what way it is some sold to C? That is next transaction. See, very simple. If I sell to you, I'll book it as sale, you will book it as purchase. Where is another transaction in there? Profit margin differ, another reason. Ritika. Ritika says profit margin different. That's why it is like that. Respond. You cannot find the answer for this in any books. It has to be understood, learned only in class. Proceed. Here we are showing segment. So what? Pavitra? We are showing segment, agreed. So what? You won't show like, check departmental accounts problems. One department sale is booked as purchase in another department. Why not that same logic? Purchase return, Madhu Hegde. One new possible purchase return. Then that will come as sales return in the other department. Answer is, you know answer, that is the best part. Maybe it is manufacturing industry, Ramya. Very good. So what? They are manufacturing. Manufacturing means they should not purchase. Is it like that, Ramya? Answer. The goods bought at cost and sold at selling price. Asim Singh dropped this idea immediately. Now itself. This is where the confusion starts. Goods are bought at cost but sold at selling price. Let me make it very clear, Asim Singh. Don't go beyond this boundary. A sell to B. A will book it as sale. Same amount will be booked by B as purchase. Where is cost sale price? Not at all applicable. Check the departmental account. Study material enough, no need of any big resource. Check departmental account, solution problem, somewhere it will be there. If A transfer to B, solution itself will be available. B will book it as sale, A will book it as sale, B will book it as purchase. Uma Maheshwari gives one answer. It is part of operating expense. So, Asim Singh, I hope you are clear. That understanding 1% cost and all not applicable here. Be clear. See, you are selling to your debtor. You won't analyze whether it is cost to profits. You book it as sale, they book it as purchase. They won't analyze what is the profit you are adding. Why should I analyze? You buy raw material, you won't analyze what is our seller cost. Why should you analyze? What way it is benefiting? You will buy which is competitive, book it as purchase. That's all. One answer so close. So far, one answer very close answer. Let's wait. Any other answer? Make it fast. Why it is different? Why it is different? Simplest answer. It is a statement, so we are not showing. Pavitra, If you join corporate and all, they will appreciate you heavily. Statement means we will not show some detail. Users of financial statement will file a case on us if we do like this. Everything has to be disclosed. It's not that. If statement means where will you take the purchase? Pavitra. Operating expense are taken here. Sirisha, good. So what? So, Sirisha, maybe adjusted. Good. Excellent. Saravana Sivakumar. Perfect. Perfect. He told the answer. I don't know how many were able to follow. Maybe adjusted in stock. Enough. That is answer. You are not recording purchase in the statement. Her answer statement right, but not shown in statement at all, not correct. It is not purchase first. Read the heading. It is operating expense. Purchase is not shown to you. Kindly understand what is shown to you. Operating expense. What do you mean by expense? Expense cannot have the stock element. Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock given in the statement. Your generation will go with the statement only. There is no, don't expect any company to present trading P&L and all. Those days have gone. That is all your previous generation. Those are all over. Now, refer Schedule 3. Medical profession means they should know stethoscope. Like that CA course means you should know Schedule 3. Refer today. Don't postpone. P&L will be a statement. In that statement, you check, it will be raw material consumed. They won't, where will you write opening stock, closing stock, all that? That is due to stock effect. It is material consumed which is presented in that statement. That is what will fit into the word expense. If I purchase, one part of it may be in closing stock. So it is not purchase, first of all. I am not preparing trading account. It is not trading account. So net effect, your net effect adjusted here. Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock given there. That is why it is not tally. That is why it is not tallying. Sharon, don't link with another purchase and all I said in the beginning. You cannot take it like one balance and all. No, absolutely not there. If B sell to A, B should book it as sale, A should book it as purchase. This rule cannot change. Why it is different? Because of stock element. Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock, they are presenting there. That answer given. Good. Okay. Now let's go to the third question. Take the next question. Go to that. The question is third over, fourth question. Whether interest expense relating to overdraft and other operating liabilities identified to a particular segment should be included in the segment expense or not. In case interest is included as part of cost of inventories, where it is so required as per AS 16, read with AS 2, and those inventories are part of segment assets of a particular segment, state whether such interest should be considered as expense. First general rule. What is general rule? You have seen that in this question itself. Interest should not be included as expense. General rule. Then exception. What is the exception? Normally, accounting standard 2 does not permit us to include interest in the stock of inventory. You will value stock. Your accounting standard 2 deals with valuation of inventory. While valuing stock, we should take cost and various other directly attributable expense, non-refundable tax, all that will be dealt with in Group 1 accounts. AS2 inventory valuation. Along with that, interest can be included only in one circumstance. AS16 read with AS2. That means if your manufacturing take a long time, longer duration, your manufacturing takes longer duration, then we can capitalize. Then we can include interest as part of cost of inventory. If I include only in credit side, interest we incur for a manufacturing process because the time taken, actually AS16 deal with the borrowing cost. All the assets are not qualifying asset. An asset that takes substantial period, that is only qualifying asset. If that is the case, AS16 permit including the interest in the stock, not all stock when the stock take more than 12 months. That is what we call it a substantial period. This is given in accounting standard 16. Now follow carefully. Credit side, I include interest. Closing stock include interest. Debit side, if I don't include interest, wrongly, stock will be more. When stock is wrong, profit would be wrong. Finished. So what to do now? In that exceptional circumstance alone, segment expense will include interest also. That's all. First normal rule, interest should not be included in segment expense. If at all, they included the interest in the closing stock because of two other accounting standards. Two, inventory valuation, 16, borrowing cost. Because of that, they included closing stock. Visualize, imagine trading account, credit side closing stock. Without booking expense, if I take something only in closing stock, profit will be more. I did not book purchase. I take the closing stock alone. It will wrongly show profit. That's not correct. Same thing here. So what we have to do, we should include it in segment expense also. Because of stock in this world, nobody can earn profit. If it is sold to third party, then only you earn profit. So let us go through the answer now. I hope so far whatever explained, they are all clear. Confirm that. Look at this interest expense relating to OD and other operating liabilities identified to a particular segment should not be included as part of segment expense unless the operations of the segment are financial nature. It is not financial in this question. Or unless interest is included as part of cost of inventory. That is exception to the general rule. General rule, even you refer previous solution, I did not take interest as segment expense. Previous answer, you can refer. But look at this. In case the interest is included as part of cost of inventory closing stock, you can imagine. And those inventories are part of segment asset of a particular segment. Such interest should be considered as segment expense. In this case, the amount of such interest and the fact that segment result has been arrived at after considering such interest should be disclosed by way of a note. Take this now. Take this. Once you completed, indicate we have to go to just one more question. After finishing that, we should continue with the problems on accounting standard 7, which is very, very important and very useful in terms of exam scoring. So finish it quickly. If you completed, we can go to that. Is making you to write once in spite of time pressure is to get a grip over the answer. I reiterate, general rule first, which you adopted even in the previous solution, we will not include interest as segment expense. When we are forced to include because of other standards, which is accounting standard 2 and 16. Red with 16 means both you should combine and leave. Because of them, if in closing stock include interest, and debit side, if I don't take interest as expense, wrongly profit will emerge in your calculation. Wrong profit will come. That is wrong. That's what we are doing. If this is completed, we can go to just one more question. Have you completed? Shall we proceed to next? Respond to that now. Respond in chat if you completed. Have you finished? Confirm now. Anybody need the solution now? Respond now kindly. Finish this one. Fine. Good. So let's go to one more question. Take one more question is there. Let's finish that also. So far, if you have any doubt, first ask that. If you have any doubt so far. Look at the fifth question. PK Limited identified business segment as its primary segment, primary reporting format. It has identified India, USA, UK as three geographical segments. It sells products in the Indian market, which constitute 70% of company sales. 25% is sold in USA and balance sold in UK. Is PK Limited company name as part of its geographical secondary information required to disclose segment revenue for export sale where such sales are not significant? Can you answer which are all geographical segments that we have to report? Which are the geographical segments that you should report? Can you answer now? Very good, very good. India, USA reportable segment. UK not a reportable segment. Why? Because 75% only you should reach. We are going to 95% over and above that. So India, USA, we have to report. UK export sales, we need not report. That answer right. Many gave good sign. Correct answer. So we have to present it for the sake of presentation. I'll show you the answer. You can take very quickly. Somebody asked for the question display. I'm taking it on display now. So this is that question which we discussed just now. As per AS 17, if primary format of an enterprise for reporting segment is business segment, it should also report segment revenue from external customer by geographical area based on geographical location. This is applicable when a company is having multiple product, multiple location. Take company like Reliance, they are having business on various products across world sometimes. So accordingly, we have to give geographical detail also, business detail also. That is what is the first sentence. For each geographical segment whose revenue from sales to external customer is 10% or more. Accordingly, for the purpose of disclosing secondary segment information, TK is not required to disclose segment revenue, as many of you answered that answer right. Not required to disclose segment revenue from export sales to UK, since segment does not meet 10% or more of enterprise threshold. The threshold means the percentage limit. However, secondary segment information as per AS 17 should be disclosed in respect of this segment if the threshold prescribed in AS 17 are met. Other secondary information, other disclosures are there like nature, where what businesses they have in that geographical location, that type of details are given. That's all. Now take answer for this. Take answer. The good sign is all answers given were correct. There was no wrong answer in this question. That's a good sign. And if you completed this, let us take some 10 minutes break. After that, we will resume again with accounting standard 7 questions straight away. The discussion we had yesterday, enough to do, finished few problems first. That is the percentage of completion which we discussed yesterday, and the revenue recognition. We have some fixed step. Following that would be enough to finish those solutions. So we will do that. First, let us take break and then continue.